everybody, welcome back to Sunflower Cottage Crochet. This is Sarah. This is the tutorial for the Tunisian Basket Weave Stitch. This I have in front of me is the corner of my giant blanket, and this is what the overall stitch pattern looks like. It does look a bit like a, basket weave. So we're going to be using Tunisian simple stitches and Tunisian purl stitches. So there are some repeats that need to be kept in mind. So you basically just do, it's a 4-row repeat, and it's also a multiple of 4, but technically 8 stitches. So you do 2 rows of Tunisian simple, and then you'll do 2 rows of purl. And it looks like 3 here, but that's actually part of the purl stitch. So in any case, if you know how to do those 2 stitches, then you're golden, and you just need to know the repeat and you'll be ready to go. If you need a little reminder, well, you're going to get to see it in this video. If you don't know how to do those, you need to go back to my other videos that cover those 2 stitches individually. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to figure out the multiple. I have chained up 16 stitches. And if you want to follow along with me, go ahead and chain 16 and then come back to the video. So per usual, I'm going to work in the back humps. You don't have to. I'm going to work a normal foundation row. So I'm just going to gather up each loop. Now that I've gathered up each loop, I'm going to chain 1, as we always do, for my left edge stitch, and complete a normal return by yarning over and pulling through 2 all the way down. If you need help remembering how to do the basic foundation row, please go see my introduction to Tunisian video, and that will explain it to you in much more detail and be a lot slower. For the first of the 4-row repeat, because we never count the foundation row, unless of course you start the stitch pattern in the foundation row, like say a half double. We will begin with the Tunisian simple stitch. So the loop here does count as a stitch, so this is like technically our first Tunisian simple. So I'm gonna go under the next bar, the next 3 bars, and gather them in the Tunisian simple stitch way. Now I'm going to do a purl, so I'm going to scoop up, release, and then work 4 purl stitches. That's your first 8 stitches. If you count the loops, you have 8 loops. All right, so we have 4 simples and 4 purls. So now we need to start that over. So I need another 4 simples, and this time we do work all 4. And then we do 4 purls, except we have an edge stitch, and we're going to leave that as a regular. So we're going to work the 3 purls. And one thing I could note is that if it bothers you to start with 3 and end with 3, then you could add 2 to your foundation chain so that you have a right edge and a left edge stitch, and then you therefore have an actual 4 of each one. This is just the way it's been written for eons, and I would have to agree it would be much more symmetrical that way. However, it doesn't look, it's not noticeable, in my opinion. Okay, so now we just work a normal edge stitch. You could work a purl edge if you really wanted to keep it in line, but it will make it harder to work into later. So now I've gathered up everything. I'm going to chain 1, and then we're just going to work a normal return pass all the way back. We have our first row of the 4-row repeat complete, and now we're just going to repeat that last row we just did. So again, this is going to count as our first stitch, so we do 3 simple stitches. It'll be easier to tell what to do this time because you're copying what you did last time. And we're going to scoop up and do 4 purl stitches. So now we have our first 8 once again. And so now I'm going to go back and do the repeat again of 4 simples. And the last 3 purls. Now we're going to work our edge, just like normal edge stitch. Okay, now I'm going to chain 1 and complete my normal return pass once again. So now we have rows 1 and 2 of our 4-row repeat completed. Now we're going to change it up because we do need to alternate where our stitches are going to get the appropriate look. So we did start with simples, now we're going to switch to purls. And again, this is going to count even though it's not wrapped like a purl. And again, you could always do a multiple of 4 plus 2. Okay, so now we're going to scoop up and work 3 purls. And now we're going to work 4 simples. And there's the first 8. Now we're going to go back and repeat that. No, but we're going to do 4 purls. And there it is. And you can start to see the pattern change already. I'm going to work a normal edge stitch, chain 1, and work a normal return pass. So now we have 3 of our 4-row repeat completed, and we're going to work the last row as a repeat of row 3. So I'm going to do the first 3 purls. Whoops. And then 4 simples. And there's your first 8. Now I'm going to work 4 purls. And the last 3 simples. Now I'm going to work a normal edge. And I will chain 1 and do my normal return pass. And I'll meet you at the end and we'll work on the bind off. So now that our 4-row repeat is completed, you would start all the way over with row 1, once again, which is the first of the 2 rows of simple stitches, followed by purls. And then when you get those 2 done, you'll start back with row 3, which starts off with purls and then does simples, and then complete row 4 the same way, and then start all over with row 1 again. So again, that's the repeat. So once you complete the 4th row, then you start over with row 1. To do the bind off, you have some choices. You can continue with the stitch pattern. Let's say you didn't complete your 4th row, so you need to continue on doing the same stitches, or you can alternate them if you're starting over with a row 1. But I highly recommend just doing a Tunisian simple stitch bind off, because purl stitches tend to kind of mush, so you end up with a wavy top. And if you don't want that, then just do what I'm about to do. So I'm going to do a Tunisian simple stitch bind off, which is just pulling through everything. So you're gathering the loop and you're pulling it through everything to bind it off, to close the gaps. And I'm doing that all the way down under every bar. I'll work a normal edge stitch bind off as well, same thing. And then I chain one to secure and fasten off. So that is the basket weave pattern. Remember, it is a 4-row repeat. Row 1 begins after your foundation row, and it will start out with simple stitches. You'll have 2 rows of simple stitches, then you'll change up to purl stitches. So you'll start out with purls, and then you will switch back to row 1 after you've completed 2 rows that start with the purl stitch. We have the written pattern available both in PDF and on the blog, along with a good photo tutorial to go with it. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope you like this stitch pattern. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, leave a comment if you like, and hit the little bell icon to be notified anytime we upload a new video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.